Welcome back, everybody, to On Point Talk, the Carlette Christmas Show. Our guest this morning is a regular contributor to the OPT network, none other than Al Turner, Turner & Turner Contracting. He is an entrepreneur. He is an educator. He's also a man who makes us think a little bit deeper about many things. This morning, he joins us to talk about how to start and level up your business. Al, good morning.
Yes. Good morning, Carlette. Good morning, DC. How you all doing and everything? Glad to be here. Glad that you have me out again. It's always a joy just to come back in and just to share a few thoughts and everything. So yeah, we're going to be talking about today briefly how to start and level up in business. It's been getting a lot of calls and, actually from gentlemen and people, that I'm familiar with in business and new entrants of new entrepreneurs that are starting businesses and want to know how, one, to start a business and then also how to what I call level up in business or basically scale in business, how to grow your business.
So when you get those calls, Al, people probably just don't know how busy you are.
I don't know how busy. I don't realize how busy I am sometimes.
You're juggling a lot of things. So that's why these formats are real important because you get a chance to talk to a lot more people.
Right. That's why I don't take it for granted. I really cherish the time that I have here. And it's just something that I'm passionate about. And ultimately, God is leading me to wherever he's leading me to. And, I'm just enjoying the journey right now. So, yes, I'm very busy. But, again, it's important for us all to be able to give back in whatever way that we can. And this is one of the ways that I give back. I heard Les Miles say years ago, information is the new currency. So information, we have to just really don't take it for granted when someone is sharing their experiences and also principles and information that just can, help us along the way. So, like I've said before, I do all that I can to go out and gather and gain and glean from whomever I can and just to be better myself as a leader. And what I also teach in leadership development within our organization and outside of our organization, the various areas that I'm involved in, an organization or a group of people, anyone, whether it's just simply your home, you will not grow or will only grow to the level of the leader. So that's why it's always a challenge for leaders to continue to grow, to continue to download and gather information and become better. We're all in the midst of constantly becoming as individuals. So that's what we're going to get in today, talking about, one, how to start in business and also how to level up or scale in business.
So let's talk about the start.
Yeah.
Because that seems like sometimes the hardest thing.
Yeah, it seems like the hardest thing sometimes. And it's so many different ways that you can really, start in business, to be honest with you. And, some of the constant questions I get sometimes is, how do I start my business? Or if I'm working this 9-to-5 job and everything, how do I start? Where do I start? I have this idea or something. So really everything starts with a vision, an idea. Write it down. Write it down and allow that passion to continue to drive you. And we have to just, in business, we have to just continue to be passionate about the things that we're passionate about. If you see a need or something that God is calling you to address, write, the vision down, as the word says, make it plain. And then once you write it down, make it plain. Don't be afraid. You have to use wisdom. Let me put it like that. Let me preface this. You always have to use wisdom in everything that you do. Godly wisdom, because there's two types of wisdom. It's worldly and godly, all right, without going into too much spiritual background. But again, you have to use godly wisdom. And I preface this by saying that because it's okay to share your idea with someone.
I'm scared they're going to steal it.
Right. That's why I preface godly wisdom, because godly wisdom will direct you. God will guide you into who to share your vision and your idea with. And two, because that person or persons will be able to help you along the way, So that's why I say we have to use godly wisdom And once we use godly wisdom, don't be afraid to share your idea. And that way, when you share it with some, say, just use myself. So you share that idea with someone like a Al Turner that is willing to receive it and be able to share with you his feedback and his honest opinion. And you take that and you build upon that. So that's one of the first steps, Also too, into being able to start your business, I want to go back and just kind of piggyback off what I heard you all say something the other day. As far as like a lot of people are currently working before they start their business, a 9 to 5 or whatever. And you were all talking about home ownership the other day and everything, and was talking about how purchasing versus not purchasing homes and things and stuff like that. And I'm here to share with everyone, again, a home, you don't really think about it. We've always been taught a home is an asset, but really when you look at it, a home, it has the potential to be an asset. Or let me change this. Let me turn it around. A home is a liability until you make it an asset. Let me put it like that.
Okay.
A home is a liability, because the first part I want to talk about on a liability, when you look at it, you buy a home.
Right.
What income is the home, your primary home, speaking of, what income is it providing you? When you buy a home, you're constantly spending, right? You're spending money on the home, on the mortgage, on the insurance, on the maintenance, on the upkeep. And by the definition, I'm putting it in simple terms, a liability is anything that's going out.
Right.
An asset is counted as anything that's coming in.
Right.
Right? So when you buy a home, when you look at it, and I'm taking this from Robert Kiyosaki when I first introduced it to me, is that, the thought and the idea of a home is a liability until you turn it into an asset. And a home is a great way to start your business. That's what I'm leading up to.
Oh, that's good.
That's what I'm leading up to. A home is a great way to start your business. So again, I have a job. You have a job out there. You've been working for so many years. You position yourself to be able to buy a home. You have the credit and everything and stuff like that. Now you say, well, look, I want to take this thing to the next level and start my business. All right. And how can I use my home to start my business? And that's what we're going to be talking about on our next segment when we come back. How do I use my home to start my business, or leverage my home to start a business?
All right. And with that said, make sure you start with Michelle Hertz. If you're looking to buy a home, 318-587-1355. Stay on point. Al Turner has more nuggets after this. Our guest this morning is Al Turner of Turner & Turner Contracting. And he is more than just a builder. He is an educator. He is passionate about our community and helping people to get on the road to building their dreams. And Al, before we went to break, you were talking about using your home as an investment to get your business started.
Right. So, and that's oftentimes, again, when we purchase a home, we just look at it as just my primary residence, a roof over my head, and I feel so comfortable. But for many of those individuals that are out there that are working a 9 to 5, and you achieved and accomplished the great goal of purchasing your first home, maybe your second home, whatever it may be. Well, you may also have that vision and passion to, I want to start my business. And a lot of people are asking me the question, well, how do I start my business? How do I get started? And what funds do I use? Do I need to go get a loan, and et cetera? So, and I share with them, I ask the question, well, do you have a home? Do you own your own home? And that's how, when I preface this, that's how you turn a liability to an asset. Because before now, you're just purchasing your home and you spending money on the mortgage, like I said, the insurance, the maintenance, the upkeep, and things, stuff like that. But that home, which we view as an asset, but it's really a liability because we're spending. How do we use that home and leverage that home to where it could now be an asset and bring resources and money and stuff in? And what I'm simply talking about is, if you own your home and you have the idea you want to do some extra things and stuff, you can use your home as collateral And that's simply just leverage. You're leveraging home as collateral to be able to purchase, say, another home or to start a business or anything, based on the equity that you have in your home. To go into real depth in that, I would really encourage you to speak to your local banker. I bank locally with a primary bank is Southern Heritage Bank, and that's who I bank with locally as well. So I mean, I have a lot of great things to say about them, and again,
Same.
that's who I would just really. Actually, that's what I would suggest that anyone would reach out to their local banker, and they can talk to them more about how to leverage and collateralize their home to be able to achieve the various things. But I just really want just just open up the window just to share with people where, if you own your home or multiple homes, that's a way that you can really start your business. And that's on the startup level. So,
and let me just say this too about the banking aspect of it. It's important to have a bank. We bank with Southern Heritage Bank. They're a proud sponsor of the show. But one of the big things that they do is having a local bank. They're connected to the local people, and they want to help local people start local businesses.
Yes.
And so they're very open to that.
Yes, and that's something that actually I've been thinking about for a while, and probably in the upcoming months and weeks, and I'll probably be sharing some ideas with you in DC about that too as well, because there's different restrictions what you can and can't do, especially in banking institutions and things and stuff like that. But we do want to bring more of that to the community as well. So
for sure,
look forward to those things. Just kind of give everyone a peek under the
little tease.
Yeah, a little tease.
So Al, for people that are saying to you, I do have a 9 to 5, but I do have a business. What do you say to them about being able to keep your job because you still need it, but opening your business or starting the process of it?
Right. That was the next nugget. You're right in line, Carlette, because some people may just want to jump out there and start a business
and quit their job.
No, do not do that. I would advise you against that. And again, this is coming from personal experience. I wouldn't advise anyone to quit your job, your 9 to 5, but that's the breadwinner. So don't do that until your business, your whatever you're doing, we call it your side hustle, whatever, becomes your primary hustle.
Right.
It comes to the point where the income from your side hustle is overflowing or outpacing your income from your 9 to 5. Because at a 9 to 5, you're really just trading your time for money. And at the end of the day, we look at the benefits and things, stuff that having a business, what it offers us. Yeah, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of early mornings and late nights and stuff in business, but it's priceless because time, that's something that you and we can never get back. And owning your own business, what it does is it provides and it gives you time. When I need to go, I could turn things off and turn them back on whenever I choose to. So the autonomy to do that, to the autonomy to leave and even take a vacation. I make my own schedule, so to speak. So those are some of the benefits and things of owning a business too. So going back to the point where you're just asking about, you don't quit your 9 to 5. Until, again, using godly wisdom, that God leads you to the point where, and he will always confirm, because a lot of people may ask, well, how do I know?
Right.
How do I know? Well, if you set things up, and again, there's a lot of things in between here that we just really don't have time to really touch on as far as the specific hows and stuff like that, setting up business. But when you set your business up and you have your side hustle, which is your business, moving and flowing and it's starting to make income and produce income and things and stuff like that. And a lot of people ask, well, how do I know it's time? How do I know it's time? Well, again, using godly wisdom, God will lead you and he'll place that passion in your heart to know that, look, it's time. But not only that, God always confirms what he has placed in your heart, So it's not anything just subjective of how I feel, but God will always give you something objective. One of the objective ways, as I just stated, is that you will start to see, if you're keeping up your accounting and finances, you'll see that your income and your cash flow and your profits and etc. is outpacing that from your 9 to 5. That's one. Another way that God will also confirm it is that he'll confirm it through other people. You know, he'll confirm it to through other people that sharing and look, hey, sister, brother, or young person, or whatever, you're doing a great job, and I see your business is flourishing and things and stuff like that. I see the growth. So that's how God affirms what you're doing and stuff too as well. So
Right.
that's why I'm just sharing with everyone that God will always confirm what you're doing too, as long as you're in His will and doing what you're supposed to do. In business, so that's how you start your business, and then once you start your business in that particular way, utilizing your home as what we call in banking a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, or you can use it as collateral, etc., to be able to set up the financing that you need based on what type of business that you're pursuing.
Right.
You want to open. So that's a great way to do that. Also, don't leave your 9 to 5. Continue to work your business in the time. Your 9 to 5 is just that 9 to 5, but you build and truly grow your business after that. Okay, that's how you build yourself. You grow your business and everything else after 5 o'clock. So that's where the late nights come in. Okay? And that's why I said when you start your business, you have to be passionate about starting your business, So this is what, again, in Dave Ramsey's book, he talking about the treadmill effect, as you're the CEO, so you're the CEO, you're the everything person, so you're the chief everything officer, particularly with how he coins it. And really, when you start your business, you're doing everything literally, after you have started your business. So that's the I guess the conclusion of starting your business. Then after we come back, we'll talk about how you level up in business.
All right. This is a conversation you got to stay on point for. We're back after this. Welcome back, everybody, to On Point Talk, the Carlette Christmas Show. Al Turner is in the house, and he is a regular contributor of the OPT Network, always bringing us great information that makes us think a little bit bigger and a little bit broader on where we are on the journey to business. Also, we want to remind you that this show is being brought to you in part by Turner & Turner Contracting, satisfying expectations more than just a builder. So, Al, leveling up.
Yeah, leveling up, but that's what we're going to really conquer in this last segment here, Carlette. But I'm just thinking, I'll be remiss if I don't go back and to say, as a part of starting your business, we've mentioned it before, but I really want to stress it because it's so important, the importance of having a good banker on your side. Not just a bank, but a banker.
Right.
A person speaking of that understands you, the individual. Okay. A person that understands not only you, but also your business.
That's right.
Because in business, it's going to be a roller coaster ride. You're going to have up days, times that you're up, times that you're down personally.
Right.
There are also going to be times that your business is up, and there's going to be times that your business is down. I often say this to myself as well as other people. It's easy to manage when things are going well.
Yes, sir.
The true definition of a manager is how he or she manages, or capacity of a manager is how he or she manages when things are not going well. Okay. So that's why it's important to have a great banker, not just a bank, but a banker who understands you, the individual, and your business.
So touch on a business coach like Gary Perkins.
Oh yeah. Gary Perkins, actually, he leads the way with the BAS, Business Acceleration System, and the great thing about a coach overall, no matter what coach you have, first of all, the coach needs to be qualified, I would say.
Right.
But a coach, the purpose of a coach will help you go further and faster.
Ooh, that's
Think
good.
about that.
Further and faster.
Yeah, think about that. Phil Jackson wasn't better than Michael Jordan for just pure athletics, but he still was his coach. And every great person, LeBron James, he has a coach, and he has other people that are instructing him off the court as well.
That's right.
So he's not the people that are instructing, speaking of the coach, they're not usually better than the person that's on the field, that's on the court, that's actually in the day-to-day business of doing things, i.e. a banker or Gary Perkins. Gary Perkins is not as great as me in construction, but he's a coach that will help me, help you, help anyone else out there. A coach in particular will help you go further and faster.
Right.
A lot of times we have to overcome the misnomer and thought of that. I don't want anyone in my business. I don't want to share anything with anyone.
That's the main thing.
Right. That's the main thing. So we have to get that out of our heads, whether it's personal life, any other organization, anything.
How do you do that, Al? Because when you come from a background where I don't want to open up my finances to nobody,
right,
especially not a stranger.
Right.
Even if I'm gonna go further and faster, I still have that reserve. How did you do it? Because we both, Gary Perkins has been, and he is still our business coach.
Honestly, Carlette, that's a magnificent question. My first part of the answer is you would have to associate yourself with people who are already doing it. That's my first question.
Okay.
The reason I say that is because that question really brought me back to years ago when I was a part of, I'm an alumni of Goldman Sachs 10,000 Businesses.
Uh-huh.
They flew me out to Boston, Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. I spent about 2 weeks out there.
Wow.
That we attended Babson College. It's a private college. Great. Just an entrepreneurial. That's their focus, entrepreneurship. But anyway, Goldman Sachs flew me out there to their training, and in the midst of that training, our business, we had, the numbers were like red everywhere. It was like a red sea. And I'm the same way. I don't want to share my numbers. But you have all these individuals from all over the country. Atlanta, Minnesota, New York, California, and everything. And
a little shame comes up.
Right. But they're sharing their information because the first thing that they realize, Carlette, hear me, and our listeners, hear me closely. They know the fact that I need help.
Wow.
Think about it. Yes, I may be a little shame. That's attack of the enemy.
A little fear.
That's attack of the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
A little guilt. That's attack of the enemy because he doesn't want you to succeed.
Right.
Again, godly wisdom. Mm-hmm. So we have to. That's the point of associating yourself and ourselves with people and individuals who are already on that path and going down that road.
So Al, I gotta ask you. You sitting there with your numbers like the Red Sea.
Oh
as you
man,
call it.
Yeah.
When did you get the courage to open it up?
Oh, during that time at Babson College in Boston, Massachusetts, and even more after that too as well. Because I was like, I'm gonna change this, And it was a CPA, and she's from I think she's from Detroit. And she helped all of us and to help us understand our business and understand our numbers and everything, because even though I had a Red Sea before me, that Red Sea of numbers was actually telling me a story. And that's what the other part, when we talk about leveraging our business, how do we level up and in our business, you have to, first of all, understand where you are, understand your numbers. A lot of times we're so busy, and that's the second part of the training that they taught us at 10,000 at Babson College, is that not just working in your business, because that's just another 9 to 5. You just own your 9 to 5 at that time.
Right.
But working on your business, the power of working on your business. And so even though you have that Red Sea of numbers before you, and you don't like the Red Sea, I'd rather it be a blue sea, a blue ocean. That's another book. But I'd rather it be a blue ocean. But nevertheless, I have this Red Sea of numbers before me. And these numbers, even though I don't like them, they are telling me a story of what I need to do. you know, of what I need to do. And simply, we take a simple concept. And we talked about assets and liabilities, cash flow. If you have more going out than coming in, that's just a principle of life. You won't last long. I don't care if it's your home, your family, your business, church, or any other organization. You have to have more coming in. That's just business, a business principle. So we have to get past the shame, the fear, and the guilt of not being able to share our information and own the fact that, be clear and own the fact that I need help. And going back to the purpose of a coach is there to help you go further and faster, not to be better than you, but to help you go further and faster. So that's the second point also that you brought out of leveraging our business. But also the third point is going full circle here, is circling yourself or putting yourself around people or bringing people into your organization. Because you're the chief everything officer when you're starting up and everything. But if you want to scale this thing, you want to grow this thing, not only do I need to know my numbers, not only do I need to associate myself around other fellow business owners and people that's going down that path, but I need to figure out a way, how do I get a right hand or a second person in line? You know, how do I add that strategic person, that important person that I need to help me go to the next level? Okay. And look at that individual as an investment, not a cost, but an investment, because that individual will help you come in and scale your business, but also they will help you bring in more resources, money, and things and stuff like that, to where you can be able to do the things that you need to do and be empowered and be great for your business, to be honest with you.
There it is, Al. Always great information. And give me a final word. The biggest takeaway.
The biggest takeaway. Wow. Y'all always put me on the spot with that, DC. But I mean, we said it before. The importance of having a coach. The importance of having a coach in anything in life. We're talking about business right now, but in any and every area of your life, the importance of having a coach. A coach will simply help you go further and faster.
That's the last word. Further and faster. Have a coach. Get a coach for whatever it is that you're doing, because they can see outside of the things that you can't see. Always a great pleasure. Thanks, Al.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Indeed. Hey, everybody, stay on point. We're back after this.